Okay, okay. That's up, finally. Had to fight some things, but we're here. And we're doing good. Okay, that's running. Sick. Want to redo my flight plan, but that's something that we gotta deal with sometimes with all of this crap. I'm curious if old George Palmer will be back from doing what he was doing. Okay, let's hop in VR. Cool, there we go. Look. Ta-da. I'm gonna leave the weather clear for right now just because it's easier to see. We'll start from up here. Says departure. MVFR, I wonder what that means. It's probably important. Helipad. Set as arrival. Except I want to do a stop on this airport. I don't want to scoot-doodle down too much because I want to get to down here for no reason. Configure. Blue, of course. Fuel and payload. Manage fuel. Of course, we're stopping for a top off, so that really doesn't matter that much. Oh, where did my... Okay, that looks good enough. Georgia plane spotting, hello. I don't know, you saw that I replied again to your comment? Because I've figured something out. Because look at today's trip. Boy, that looks miserable. But why am I doing it today if it looks miserable? Because I've figured out the secret buttons. Hopefully. I stayed up late last night, attempting to get all of that figured out. I believe I did. So, why does that keep getting rid of all my freaking things? I want my waypoints in here. Sure. Looks like it goes through it a bit more. That's right, I gotta do tab, flight planner. Got a customs set, okay. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, the news is I figured out the secret buttons. At least for the hype group. The 145 and the 160. Boy, this weather looks nasty. Good thing I'm not scared of it anymore. Ew, icky. Does this thing look blacker than usual? Ooh, let me hop in here real quick. While the wind's playing with our blades. Here, go and slow down. Wi-Fi cut out. The news is, hopefully, we're basically flying hands-free today. Hopefully. I don't care about that. Don't care about that. Sure, let's go back. Weather? No, we can only do maps now. You stay level, you son of a bitch. Flight plan, cool, so we're good there. Can turn on that stuff. Light 1 is on. I don't know what light 1 is. Oh. Cool. I can turn this on. Okay, let's make sure this setting is okay. So I am full cyclic, no springs. But now I can do this. I'm going to move my center thing here to DMAP. Cool. That logs in. Tom, what up? See you, Tom. That was quick. Okay. We're topped off on fuel and everything. So actually I gotta snap this bad boy to full run on that. Pick up. Altitude we're looking for is a lot more. Let's do 5,000 to begin with. Cool, 5,100. Can't see what this heading is. Give me a second. Jeez, do we have that much wind? Oh yeah, I'm still holding altitude. First heading is 003. No, I want 253. Okay. First heading 253. We're gonna take a speed to like 140, whatever. Oh hell yeah, dude! That Antonov is fucking weird when it flies over. Is it the Ukraine Air cargo or whatever? Okay, so if anybody's watching and wondering why I'm fucking doing this like a newborn right now. Heading... Said 253 or something, right? IAS. That's the speed that we're looking to do. I'll set it at 80 to begin with. Okay, now I've got to very carefully drop my cyclic. This is where it gets hard. I've got to let go of this. This may be our first crash. 253. Sure, that looks good enough. Vertical speed, we're climbing like 1,000 feet per minute. I'm happy with that. And right now, I am hands off and feet off my controls. Yeah, the Ukraine, it sounds wild, dude. That's the weird part about it. It sounds weird. I can turn off my things out there because I'm, like I said, I wish you could see, like I'm hands off right now. I'm not touching anything. I'm just kind of monitoring to make sure, because I've got heading turned on, airspeed hold, heading hold. Heading I've got locked in on this green arrow right here. Height, we've now lost our radio altitude because we're above 2,000 feet. So it's not going to hold that anymore. And right now I've got it set to like 5,000 on the on where we're heading. Hell yeah. Dude, flying over the water. Ugh. So I'm gonna do a few more clicks to the left on my heading. And you can see the little green arrow there moved a little bit to the left. Now we should see the green arrow moving back towards where we're heading. Hell yeah. Dude, nasty weather out there. Honestly, I'm pumped about this. Okay, I may screw this up right here. Nope. I had to press a button on my cyclic to make the thing go away up there. So it's kind of like a manual autopilot, which I know it has a more advanced setup than what this is. But you know, it's whatever. I'm just happy that I can do an over-the-water thing through rain and bullshit that I don't have to be super involved with. As much as I enjoy flying helicopters, this is not exactly what I want to enjoy about flying helicopters. So we're still making our way up, 1,000 feet per minute. So, Georgia Plainspun, how you doing? Have you, done whatever? And I'm not even going to worry about putting in the server that we're in right now. Forgot to do it earlier. I'll wait until we're, deeper in it. Yep, I done figured it out by watching somebody on YouTube talk about it. Ooh. What are you doing, bud? Why are you doing that? Did my cyclic slide forward? Maybe. That's one thing about it. It doesn't self-center, so I'm kind of like trying to balance point this bad boy. See, I've got to monitor it, but that's part of the thing where I had to change the settings to where it knows that it doesn't self-center. Oh, you got to sit in the 51? Nice. Hell yeah. So it sounds like a solid day of spotting. Me and my pup went and got our usual Saturday calzone. So we were chilling with that. And, yeah, nothing too exciting happened on our end. Did that, did some working out. I once again tested my secret product that neither you nor Tom know about. I'm going to take it to somebody tomorrow, let them give it a test and see what they think about it. Let's go to 140 knots. 150 knots. We're gonna play the game. We got a fast helicopter with a good autopilot. We're going to take advantage of a fast helicopter with good autopilot. And I can even do this. Ooh. Hell yeah. All about it. Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing there. I should just not touch that. VR playtime. Yes, we are always in VR here. I don't do the eye tracking thing because I feel like for helicopter usage, you don't get what I want out of it doing non-VR. Now, if I had like a full surround thing with a different like a full surround thing where I could like touch stuff and where it's like a fully involved sim, then maybe I could get out of it. But yeah, which I think I told you when you were here previously, But what I want out of the VR was learning how to fly a helicopter, or what I wanted out of the sim was to learn how to fly a helicopter and handle the collective and cyclic. And there's really no better way to do that except for, doing it in VR to where you can look around and see what's going on. Let's see if we can hunt up a little bit. Take it up to 5,100 feet, see if it clears up any for us. What buttons do I have over here that I can press? Ooh. Exterior lights. Turn that on. Cool. Yeah, it looks like all these clouds are kind of high. Good rain coming down in front of us, though. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm proud that I figured out autopilot, because I'd rather not use it a lot during this, one of the decommissioned military sims would be cool. I've done a couple of them where I don't know if they're more, I mean, obviously it was airplane-centric, but one at, like, the Air and Space Museum, the Smithsonian one, they had a good one, and it was like, you sit in a tube, and the tube would do this, but it would also, like, roll upside down and stuff, so you could have a full upside-down flying experience. That was fun. I had a high score on that one day, so that was neat. But also, like, kind of my purpose of doing all this was learn how to fly, so that way it can save me time learning how to hover. And if I was commuting to one of those places every day to play in one of those, if there was one that even had a helicopter sim near me, because I only care about the helicopter side, then it's not worth the money, because after a certain point, it's spending tens of thousands of dollars on full motion, better graphics card, all the different things to make it as intricate as possible, and then I'm better off just flying a real helicopter. But with this thing, $1,500 for my cyclic and collective and pedals from Apache Simulator, and it's set up just like a Robinson R44, which is what I'm going to be training in anyways, so works out. Squirrel it away. Dude, if it was possible to museum high something like that, I sure as shit would. Yeah, dude, the soup is real today here with this. Goodness, guys. What do you think? Do I need to throw some more altitude at it or take away altitude? Should we try to fly under or just kind of deal with it for now? I think we kind of deal with it for a bit until we get out of this. Oh, the flight level 310, jeez. Yeah, dude, it sounds like a deeper tone, slower C-130. I've had that particular tail number. Did you give a tail number or just the type? I've had one go over my house a few times. I had my friend in Florida had it go over their place a few times. It just sounds like completely different, which people would think it's like, okay, cool, how are you going to be able to tell the difference in a plane that's flying whatever? And it's like, when you hear the same noises over and over and over and over again, it starts you start to be able to tell the difference between different things with it, you know? Like, you can really, really pick up when something's not the same as it's always been. Hope y'all are enjoying this. We could just be hovering in the same fucking place for all y'all know back there. Dude, it's so weird turning around and looking back there and not having to... Cloud ceiling, no idea. It's one of those things where I could put the brain power into doing this and figuring out more ceiling, more weather, more whatever. But like I said, the purpose of me getting this was to learn how to hover, learn how to do standard physical manipulating the controls procedures. And I've got that down pretty well. And now it's working a bit more on different things here and there. It's kind of hard to do ATC stuff because I sometimes make calls. But like there's nobody answering on the other side. So it's not like I'm really, really getting crazy ATC practice or anything. 82072. I don't know if I heard that one. I think they have like 2 or 3 here around the states that fly around. But it's a... I won't say it's a weird thing, but it's just not a common... Oop, hole in the clouds. Can I see the water? Hey. So yeah, we could drop a couple 100 feet, be below ceiling, it looks like. So we're going to take it down to 5,000 even and see what it does for us. I'm having to watch my artificial horizons here and here because I don't have motion, so I can't tell if we're rolling or whatever. If I was just looking here, you know, I wouldn't be able to tell. Oop, blue sky up there somewhere. Okay, we're down to 5,000. Let's take it down to 4,800. Going to like Rome, Italy. Loud rumble buzzing sound. Yeah, that sounds about what I remember. Hey, some more skies. We are kind of flying through a bit of a clearing in the rain right now. You can see some water down there. So let's take it down to 4,500. Still keeping 150 knots. We're still good on our heading. We're a little bit to the northwest of our path or whatever, but you know, we're heading in the right direction. I'm happy with that. Low, loud rumble accompanied by buzzing sound. Yeah, I mean, it's such a weird sound, which, like I said, most people don't understand. Just like I can hear a car somewhere and go like, oh, okay, cool, this car is... It's a... I mean, obviously Subarus are Subarus for anybody who generally understands vehicles. But for, I mean, most people, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But, like, I can tell just about any vehicle or engine or whatever. And on some weird cases, I can tell what brand exhaust is on it. It's like, yeah, you get accustomed to something, especially if it's something that's inside of your TISM niche. Then it, you know, it's, you pick up on stuff like that. Come on, clowns, put me below the ceiling. We're down at 4,000 feet. were up there just a minute ago. Oh well. Stick my head out the window again. Oh, I can see water down there. Oop. Hey, we're close to ceiling right now. Just clicking away. Take me down to 35, please, sir. Dude, honestly, we might just reserve the 160 for like bad weather legs and stuff like that. Bad weather, like long water crossings and stuff. So we might be seeing this a bit here for the next week or so as we get down to Australia. Once we hit Australia, we'll diddle around in like R66s and AS 350s and stuff. But I feel like we can kind of almost reserve this just for water legs, especially when it's like this, where it's like we're not going to have land for like an hour and a half of this leg here, which we're, what, 30 minutes in? So not that bad. Take her down to 3,000, Captain. 3,100. 3,000 feet dialed in. Start watching the water as we go. Yeah, we were decently high. We had got up to like 5,500 feet there at one point. What I had the autopilot set as. What other settings are on here? Navigation source. I don't want to get into that. Because right now I know how to direct us with the settings that we have. And I don't mind clicking and holding for just basic directions and stuff. Like if I wanted to do like the full airplane thing, I would do the full airplane thing. Ronnie, what's up? We are autopiloting today over a long rainy water crossing because I figured out autopilot on the H160. And when I say I mean a YouTube person did a tutorial and I kind of loosely followed it. That's more annoying than it should be. I can see the wind bumping us around some. AP's holding steady. Charged up. Means I can take this now. Trying to declutter my workspace. Move that back there. Am I good below? Okay, good below. Oh. Looks like we're getting out of it here. How the turntable is autopilot is here. Yeah, I'm going to do my best not to abuse it though. When we're doing these long overwater things where it's not actually exciting or interesting to fly, I'll use it for that. Also, is today Berlin's birthday or is it this weekend or something? And today was the dinner. At one point, didn't you say you won't use autopilot series? I've been saying I've been wiggling sticks the whole time, but I've been saying that because none of the other autopilots will work as far as like the factory machines. It's like anything that came with the game itself and the other companies' versions. They won't work with the way that my pedal cyclic collective are programmed and manufactured. So that's been my reason for saying, like, cool, I'll be wiggling sticks this whole time because it's her brother's birthday. Oh, okay. Never mind then. So yeah, that's been my reason for saying, like, cool, I'm not using autopilot because I literally couldn't. I still do plan on using my hands and feet the entire time whenever we're doing fun flying, but this right here is a chore. And if it was up to me today, if I didn't have this at my disposal, I would have called off today as well. And then it seems like almost every evening there is weather coming through this area, so it's almost like an indefinite hold off, because who wants to fly 2.5 hours white knuckling IFR flights with something that you can't trim out, you know? If my stick's self-centered, then I could trim out and stay pretty well without having to, like, be white knuckling it the whole time. But with my stuff, I can't particularly do that, so I've always said no autopilot just because of that. But I think it's more than acceptable for long distance offshore things. If that makes sense. If it seems cheaty, let me know, and I will consider it, then ignore it. But I feel like most modern helicopters have autopilot anyways. I think basically every single helicopter that we have downloaded has autopilot available, except for the R22 and the R66. I think everything has some form of it. The H125 AS350 may not, because it might be an older version, older model, but I think everything has it available. And then you look at pretty much anybody who's flying something over a distance, they're usually throwing it on for, you know, their long overground stuff, like flying at a straight and level type thing. But even with our normal flying, I'd much rather be in control. It's just the this right here, this is boring as shit. This is slow airline simulator right here. Plus, this thing's just kind of like made for cruising like this, I feel. Yeah, exactly. I do want to be career, and I'm okay with that reality. Because at the end of the day, I get to say I'm a helicopter pilot, and that's cool as shit. So, I'll take it. So we're getting blown a little bit to the south here. So what I'll do, I'll click our heading. Couple to the right. You see the helicopter yaw a little bit to the right. A little bit of a roll, a little bit of a yaw. Kind of start trying to aim it back there, except you'd probably take off one. Yeah, and I'm cool with that, you know, because the jobs I'd ultimately like to do, it's ferry from here, ferry to there, whatever. When you're doing the actual work, it's very involved piloting, which I think is cool as shit. I know eventually I would like to be in a position doing something like utility work. Or, I mean, that's utility work, but I'd like to be in a position doing something like medical, because it's easier to have a family and a single place to live. Damn, look at that thing. The 160 is such a good looking helicopter. Yeah, if I had a ridiculous amount of money, I'd have one of these bad boys. Look at that. Look at the angle on the tail rotor here. How it's kind of tilted down that one way to help counteract all the motions and force and stuff. The main rotor's tilted forward a little bit so that way the helicopter flies more level in forward flight. Very cool. Retractable gear. Very neat. Okay, fine. This helicopter, damn right it looks good. And don't you forget it. Yeah, like doing EMS. Of course, I would love to get something more fun and aggressive under my belt, like utility work, you know. I feel like doing something like that would make you just such a hugely better pilot in the long run, knowing how to handle different forces in close proximity, hovering, you know, working in the wire environment. There's a lot of very, very good skills that come from doing something like utility. And not just like fire utility, like power line type utility, which I'm sure you get good skills from all aspects, all job categories or whatever. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be like the best basis to get anything from to where it will go such a long way getting out of it. Like being able to bring that sort of skill into something like medical, you know, it makes it where you're much more likely to get a cool job working in the mountains of Colorado or Utah or something like that, or Idaho is somebody who's working a helicopter that also has a hoist. Or even like here in Georgia, GSP has a couple of helicopters set up for hoisting because they do rescue operations for anybody that needs it. Which I really don't want to do police helicoptering, but GSP does have a very solid air program that I would not mind being a part of. And the cool thing is you don't have to do patrolling, and I think it's such like a weirdly in-demand job. And like there's so few applicants to it just because the barrier to entry to get into it's so high. But like you still have to go through police school or whatever, like the training academy. But then they just basically shoo you straight into that job, that career. So I like the idea of that a lot. JTA 556 going to Romy, that's where we came from. We're at 17,000 feet. Goodness, guys. It ain't that far back there. So what y'all have for a birthday dinner for the brother-in-law? I'll say brother-in-law, but you know what I mean. Why did you ding at me? Did you over-torque yourself or something, hitting a weird gust of wind? You're aiming yourself to the left a little bit. That's good. Okay. Okay, the hard part for this will be once we get to this island that I'm aiming for up here, there's an airport there I want to set down at and do a refuel. Not that we necessarily need it, but we're at the near limit today for overall distance. Texas Roadhouse. I had a smokehouse. Nice. Hell yeah, that's the right thing to do, Glenn. Terrified of what y'all's child would be. Hispanic attitude that's 6'7". Oof. Absolute killer. Will be a monster in the best way. Yeah, I had a margarita the other day. Wednesday. I was going around and getting my grandmother's oil changed, getting my phone repaired, well, battery replaced, or whatever. I had nothing to do, so I went to a Mexican restaurant and had a margarita, because I figured I'd be more likely to spend money after I had a margarita. So I did that. And then went around to jewelry stores and started watch shopping. I didn't see anything I liked, though, so lucky wallet. 30 miles or so. I'm assuming that's maybe the shape we're seeing out there. But we're kind of getting to lower clouds now, so we're going to take this down to 2,500 feet. Altitude coming down. Trying to stay out of the clouds so our people back there can have a bit of a view of nothing but water. APJ 232 A320 RONG 28,000 feet. Goodness, gang. APJ. I wonder what that is. Airplane Japan. I don't know what Japanese Airlines was. JAL. They will be softly. There's no such thing as being softly pushed to be a machine gunner while they're related to you. You should softly push them to be a government. We have enough of that these days. I'm just not going to feed my child much. That way they have little skinny arms where they can reach like nuts and bolts that I drop in the engine bay. So it's like malnutrition, but it's with a purpose. I still can't see the island up here. I thought I could see it earlier, but there's still hazy coverage up here. Let's see, where's my mouse? I wonder what the weather looks like past. Ooh, that looks fun. Hopefully that doesn't move over on us. We'll see. Oh, and when I was testing all this stuff last night, had to make a water landing because I messed up one of the settings on the tablet here, and I couldn't do it. And of course, like I set down really easy, and it just kind of like the water's not deep; it's like 6 inches deep, so you just kind of sit there. Then I pulled the floats, and they puffed up and did all that. So I was very happy to see that the floats worked. We can can see the land better if I do a little one of these. Better view, maybe? Nope, not really. I wonder what the most effective or most efficient speed of this thing is. That's something for another day, Matt, to worry about. We're good. We have a fuel stop. We're not worried. Ain't no worried about that. Although I could see... No, I don't want to mess that stuff up yet. We'll just be good with this. We'll just be good. Okay, I think I see land up here now. There. It's a bit darker with both my eyes open. If I have one eye, so I make sure I'm pointing to the right place, I kind of see something there. It should be along that line there, but it's really hard to tell. Riveting footage today here on the Multi-Shot Matt channel of flying over the water at 150-ish knots, give or take. Oh, also, I know that there's a no smoking sign right here. Y'all are allowed to. I'm not going to judge you. Oh, because I could do all the autopilot stuff through that, but I don't know how it affects the way my controller setup is, but I know I can affect how my controls don't self-center, so. Unfortunately, this is the day I can't say. Yeah, exactly. Look, I hold my stick a lot, but just not today. And we got a lot of little water crossings coming up, so I'll break this out for the big ones. If it looks like a clear day and it's something where I can like see the islands from hop to hop, then we'll probably do something else. But for days like today where I've been sitting here since we left land and I haven't seen another island yet, we'll stick to this so I can be hands-free, give or take. Oh, there is sky up there somewhere. That's nice. How beautiful. Oh. "28-mile ring on that. So probably 35 miles from the island. So we should be able to see it, but now we're just limited to the graphical rendering and pixel density on this thing. Also, sorry I don't have much to talk about today. Tomorrow I am going up to a lake. I'm very excited about that. Except I'm working on a boat, so not as excited, but still excited. Get to be outside, hanging with a homie. May have an alcohol or two. We'll see. And it's the same lake that all the very well-off people live on, so it'll be nice to maybe leave his place and go over to the other guy's place. Hang out there, and like I said, it's just good to be in the same room as people like that can either be your peers or your mentors or whatever way, shape, or form, you know. It's a good thing to do. Okay, I can definitely see a change up there. I could have swore your things that I moved the yard today. I was like, how did you manage that? But you could have been mowing it with a Ryobi electric lawnmower, but you didn't buy it from me, so don't know what to tell you there. Okay, now that we're getting closer to this airport and ground, I'm going to start paying more attention to the gauges to see how everything's playing, because I will have to retake over in a bit, maybe 10 minutes or so. And what I may do is give myself a slight bit more of altitude. 2,000 feet's plenty, 2,500 feet, whatever we're at now. But I might take us up to 3,000 or 3,500, whatever the base of the clouds are. So, if something does get silly as I'm turning off all the autopilot features to land, I have time to correct if necessary. It's a consideration, isn't it? No, look back over here. I'm trying to figure you out. Elizabeth? What do we think, guys? What's the Hype 160 girl's name? I don't know. Yep, that's definitely land up there. It's not very mountainous, so it wasn't really sticking up. Yeah, it is relatively creepy, isn't it? Fuel will be over on the left somewhere. Coming in on 2. Like a Becky. She seems to have like a little bit of Latin look to her. Is Becky a common Latin name, Belinda? 2,700 feet right now, just so I can start worrying about taking over. Actually, let's take her up to 3,000. Is 3,000 going to break our clouds? Let's see. I think so. We're close, we're at 2,900. Yep, there goes horizon, so I think we're going to break clouds with this. Let's go back to... 100. Okay, cool. Still 20-ish miles or so. It's a 14 circle on here, plus whatever that distance is there. Settling. Maria, not bad. Consuelo, Guadalupe. Guadalupe is a river in Texas. Consuelo is Cletus McFarland's helicopter. Maria's not bad. Maria, I do kind of like Maria. Like, Maria could be sweet. Maria could be a cunt. Yes, you. We're definitely clouding on that. Let's do 26. Kind of getting my body positioning ready so I can grab the controls and start Juana. Pretty sure that's Juana, but I'm also American, so Juna is partially what I'm assuming you mean. Are we really going to touch the clouds here? I feel like we're gaining altitude just a little bit, or we're just getting close enough to the bases. Welcome back, Tom. We're doing big things today, as you can see. Autopilot. Because I figured it out on the H160, so I'm kind of going to use this as the extremely long haul over water, especially when there's weather helicopter. I don't want to do it any over land, just because whatever, unless it's like a desert. Or like over Greenland or something when we're doing that crossing. But yeah, I don't want to say it's been a lifesaver coming through here, but man, I would have been so fucking bored. Because this is the first land that we're getting to since I started the stream, what, an hour ago? Cheater. How? Every single helicopter in the game has autopilot. This is the only one that will function with me, or with my control setup. I don't say every helicopter, every modern helicopter that's not the 22 to 66, or I think one of the AS350 models. Everything else should have it though. The 206s, the 407, the 225 Chinook, they all should have some way, shape, or form. I just don't have the setting. So, I know you're still here, baby. Okay, I'm going to slowly take back control of my helicopter. Okay, so now it's all back in my hands. Pedals to center up. Stop doing auto trimmy sort of things. It's cyclic friction, exactly. Cyclic friction and a trim tab, or trim button. Plus, I'm literally in the newest and fanciest helicopter in the fleet right now, so why not? But yesterday, even before I made the call not to do anything yesterday, I took a F-18 off out of Romy back there and flew down here, just kind of like a quick scout to see what like different altitudes were. All of them were shit. So then I stayed up late and experimented around trying to figure out the autopilot and everything, so here we are. Trim button, the trim hat, the trim whatever. Do any Robbies have trim? I would assume they have some sort of cyclic trim. The top hat button, switch, wiggly button. One that looks like this one here. Okay, what's the name of this airport? Miyako Airport. This is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. 5 miles to the northeast, inbound for the ramp. Gonna steal some fuel. Myoka Tower. Oh man, poor Robinsons. I bet the R-88 does, so no current Robinsons have it. Very good looking water here. Approaching from the ramp side of the airport here, so we can start pulling back on the cyclic, lowering the collective a bit, and bleed off our airspeed, because we are coming in hot at 140 plus knots. I don't know how many FBOs PDK has. It's a very popular airport for private plane usage. A lot of executive jets come out of that place. Off. Gears going down. Landing gear. I'm aware. That's why it's going down. Shut your mouth. We are here at Miyako or whatever, and we're going to Taipei. So we're going to the northern part of the Taiwan main island. I'm assuming this truck here is going to be where we steal fuel from. Make sure we're on the other side of this building. Nope, I don't know where they get fuel from then. Okay, cool. So there's that. So let me go and throw fuel at it real quick. Okay, cool. Got fuel left. I'm going to pause real quick and go use the FBO here. So I will see you guys in just a second. Let's see. That's already pretty lined up. That's good. Oh, make sure my volume's gonna cut back on. So I'll listen up for that. Oh, damn it. That's the self-centering thing right there that screws me. 1 hour 30. It's going to be slightly longer because I want to cut more south to hit those islands. What airspeed was that? Yeah, cyclic centering is an asshole. I wish there was a thing where when you came back in from a pause, that it would give you like a... There's a thing here. Ooh. Anyway, there's a setting somewhere where it shows you like what your control inputs are or whatever. At 150. Okay, cool. So yeah, hour 45, somewhere in there. Anyways, tap, 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 up on fuel. Everything's there. Motors are past idle. Let's get positioned correctly in our seat, so I don't have to deal with this once we're setting the stick down. Okay, that's good enough. Maria, off we go, babe. Parking brake is off. Pulling up on the cyclic. We're already happy with this direction. Mikoyo, this is helicopter, whatever. Thanks for the fuel. We left an IOU. Let's go and hit the landing gear there.
Altitude. Crossing out.
It's got 2,000 feet. Close. Heading that. Drop that to start balancing. That's going. Heading, we can go to the right a good bit. Going up to 2,000 feet. Okay, onward. Looks like there is an island kind of out front right a bit from us. Yeah. We're bouncing right from there. Make our way up into Thailand. Not Thailand, sorry, Taiwan. Hello and welcome back. Thank you. Seems like a neat stream. I'll hang out here for a little bit. I'll tell you what though, I definitely don't mind having the autopilot for the water days like this. I won't use this as a cheat thing because I enjoy actually wiggling the sticks, but the water crossings, although necessary, are a pain. So, barrow, we can actually adjust this a little bit, because what it should be is the same as our radar altimeter, since we're over water. So I'm basically just going to click this to the right until it all matches up. Let's see. Close. What's one more click give us? One 1015. So 1013. 1015. Cool. I like that. Nifty nifty. Secrets, welcome back. Georgia Plain Spawn, thanks for being here, especially after your big trip today to do your spotting. I need to hop onto your page in a bit and see if you got any good catches, because I know you usually throw those on shorts. We're doing good tonight, Secrets, because we're doing a lot of water crossings today, and I figured out autopilot, so this is my cheat day, if you will. Not a lot of stick wiggling today. Oh no, Sean sent me something, a link to a song called I'm a Pilot. It's terrifying. I don't want to open it on stream, especially because I know it's just going to be full of slurs. Which, no problem in that, just not on stream, you know? Do you have like a stream schedule, or is it just kind of whenever? It's most nights around 9 o'clock Eastern time, although that will kind of change depending on what my personal schedule's like. So there's that. I'm also doing this as much as I can in live weather. So yesterday, I actually did not know how the autopilot worked in the H160 yesterday, and I did not want to do a huge cross-water leg, being this, through all the rain and stuff that was going through yesterday. You can see the post on my YouTube channel here where I posted a picture of what the weather looked like. So, I've been kind of picking some days by weather, what my personal feel is. You know, if I'm exhausted from doing my normal daily things, then I'm exhausted, I'm not going to get on. But most nights, anywhere from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Eastern time is when we're starting. Mostly 9-ish, a little bit later today because I was fighting all the headset connectivity issues and whatever. Yeah, thank you, Tom. But I do know that may have to change once we get more west from here, where I may stream a little bit earlier or a little bit later, because like I said, I want to try to do this live time, live weather. So I don't mind flying at night, but part of me doing this as well, at least streaming it, is I want it to be somewhat interesting to anybody watching. So while I could just hunker in and do a night flight, it typically wouldn't look as good as it does now, where you can actually see stuff. So once we get more west from here, Tom, what time is it for you where you're at? Because I don't know the time zone conversion or whatever. But right now it's almost 11 o'clock p.m. for me. Climbed to 9,500 just for fun. Yeah, the YouTube compression's weird. Also, I'm doing it in VR, so I'm running a much lower quality than... Tom, what's my winds at 9,500, or are you just talking with me? Are you putting me in a massive headwind? See, my quality's much lower, just because I'd rather it run smooth than give me perfect everything. And here we go, making the climb. Okay, so you're basically 12 hours off, give or take. You're 14 ahead. He's not from Nigeria, don't listen to him. Or do listen to him, I'm not your boss. But anyways, yeah, watching the night flights with the compression, and I know that the stream jitters some, because if I were to sit completely still, it's not that bad for you guys. But when I talk, my headset will jiggle, just from my mouth moving it, or like me adjusting my eyes or rubbing my eyes right here. Like, it makes it very different for you guys, not optimal, you know. So the quality could be better, and that's something I'm aware of. But at the end of the day, I have to be able to not get sick sitting in a chair doing the VR, which isn't bad. I'm pretty well used to it. But I also didn't want to spend $10 billion building a computer that can handle streaming and doing VR and all that. And then I'm also running it through Starlink as well, so I'm limited by bandwidth. So everything's against me, give or take. I would honestly be doing this around the world trip, even if y'all weren't watching. But I figure I'm doing it anyways. I might as well stream it. And that way it can feed the YouTube channel a little bit, because there will be some real helicopter content, some other content of whatever I do. If I can see Blue up there, working our way through the soup. Or there may be a 12-foot tailwind. It's 25 knots of one of them. But yeah, VR is pretty intensive on the computer. And I don't know if you've heard my spiel, but I got the VR. I built this PC specifically to run the helicopter sim in VR. I got the helicopter sim controls from Apache Simulator, where it's cyclic collective pedals, throttle on the collective, everything for their R44 setup. I got all of this to teach myself how to hover. So with that said, I could have spent more, obviously. It would have been easy to spend more, but with my purpose of doing it was to learn how to hover in real life and hopefully speed up my learning curve on the real thing. And if I were to do that and buy a $5,000 setup plus a $10,000 motion rig plus a fully stacked water-cooled computer with a brand new 4090 and the baddest ass CPU and trade up to a 5090 now that they're out, like, sure, yeah, I could have done that, but I wouldn't get my time, money savings worth out of it. So it's I'm working with what I got. It works pretty damn well for me. I don't have any sort of lagging or glitchiness unless it's around a whole bunch of trees or whatever. What altitude am I at now? We are currently at 6,900 feet. Nice. Climbing through 7,000 right now. But we're getting closer to the top of the clouds. As I'm sure you could tell, it's gotten lighter. Yeah, around the world in helicopter, it's definitely a thing I haven't seen anybody do. I know there's a guy called Malik VR. He's doing... he's a real-world helicopter pilot. I think he flies at 66 now doing tours. I can't remember. Anyways. Yep, punching up through. But yeah, he's doing a helicopter pilot flies around the world, but he's doing a thing where he's going to a country and landing at every airport in the country. Which, yeah, cool, I could do that. It'd be more fun flying. But for me, another reason I'm doing this is my real job currently is in the film industry. I'm a props person. I'm an armorer. So I do all the gun stuff. But right now, work is extremely slow because everybody's recovering from the strikes and productions just haven't really started rolling in yet. I finished working on my last show back in late March, and that next season, that doesn't start up until later July or August. So I wanted like a project to do for myself, something that I could set myself to go do every day and kind of give myself a job. And it was like, cool, you know, I'd kind of enjoy having a YouTube channel that would be profitable one day. Not that that's anything I'm actively chasing, but it would be a neat thing to have that sort of side income where I enjoy making and doing things, and I'll be flying soon. So why not try to take advantage of that? If I can funnel people in here doing the streams to where they would be interested in watching the real life thing, and then maybe be into watching the making, building, the car things that I do, the motorcycle things that I do, all the other things that I do. It'd be a way to make the channel work for me, you know. And then also slowly pay back for the investment in the computer and the sim rig and VR and everything. So that way it has to save me less time getting used to the real thing as well. So let's see. Right now it's showing me 120 minutes. Outside air temperature 10 degrees Celsius. We are still slow. Apparently this thing doesn't like cruising at speed at altitude. That sucks. Ground speed 97, airspeed 104. It's cool, whatever. It's not like I'm fighting it right now. I'm sitting back with my arms crossed and my legs in a comfortable position, so I'm cool with it. I make videos for a really old combat flight sim that has some unique features. IL-2 1946. Oh, okay. Making content can be surprisingly enjoyable. And like, yeah, like, are we higher than this fucking A320 right now? Yeah, so on Microsoft 2020, before I even got the VR, before I built this computer, I was running it on my laptop. And when I say running it, that's a very loose term. I was running the lowest possible graphical settings, so it would run smooth. But then I'd literally plug in this sim rig to the laptop and lean forward and stare at the screen like this to see, have a better picture. And I literally basically hovered around one parking lot for like 100 hours. Of course I would leave here and there and go fly around and stuff, but it took like a good 10 to 15 hours to teach myself hovering, because I don't have an instructor riding with me or somebody running secondary controls to hold this, or whatever. So I basically did that for 100 hours, give or take, just in that one parking lot. Around the 50 to 70 hour mark, though, I built this PC and got the VR, so it got much easier doing approaches. Because if you think about it, I was kind of hovering around a parking lot. We'll say this is the parking lot here, and each of these words is a kind of like a circle that was in the parking lot. So I'd do an approach and land here, then take off, come back, and do an approach, land here, take off. And like I would do approaches to all these different places at different angles, so that way I could take advantage of different wind speeds or whatever. Or I would hover around the parking lot, up and down the aisles of parking places and whatever, and work on pedal turns and low, slow hovering. Tom, what's up? So yeah, I did that for a lot. Once I got the VR in this, if I got a sim, is it possible for me to hop in the same aircraft as you and fly it at the same time? There is a way to do that, but I don't know how. I know back in Microsoft 2020 there was like a shared cockpit thing. I know most people were doing that with the Boeings, Airbuses, those type things. I don't know if anybody has ever done it in a rotorcraft. I've seen there be a way, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a current shared cockpit thing for 2024. I would have to look into it. I would definitely do it, but I don't know. I just don't know. It's beyond what I've been able to do or learn or get into myself, so. Airspeed 105, ground speed 96. We'll see what it's like when we turn to the right up here. But yeah, so I flew around that parking lot for basically 100 hours at my home airport, learning hovering, getting it down more than good. And then I was able to start figuring, once I got the VR, I was really able to start nailing the approaches to those circles. Because I could look around, I could see where things were, you know. Without the VR, it makes it very, very difficult to, when you're locked into this view right here, it's hard to tell if you're hitting your location, you know. But being able to look down, it made it so much easier. Yeah, the VR made such a difference with that. And then, like, there's still times where, when I'm not streaming, I'll even go hop back onto 2020, and I'll hover around that same parking lot, because all those little targets made such a fun little hovering area to go zip around and do. Which now there's, like, more airports with more helipads marked on the runway and the tarmac, and the ramp, and all the different areas, to where, like, there's the one in Japan, northern Japan, that had so many different little helipads. But it was like, I'll hop back in 2020 and do it just because I enjoyed that. But like I said, I got the sim, I got the controls, I got everything, really just to grind, learning how to do all the handling and stuff. Yeah, it would be cool. I would love to have people jump in, whether it's you. Like I said, I've always thought this would be a very cool podcast platform as well, where if there were other helicopter pilots I say other, like, if there were helicopter pilots that wanted to jump in and talk about stuff and really do a podcast episode here. Oh yeah, we actually do have a little bit of headwind coming off or 11 o'clock. Not much though, like a 12. Not bad. But yeah, like I've always thought this would be a neat podcast platform. Because you could talk about stuff and they could talk about handling and whatever, and as long as they're not planning on wrecking me, or the mod or whatever it is stable enough to have both of us flying without one of us sticking into the dirt. It would be cool to be able to do that. Did you put me in a 25 knot headwind? It's showing 20 right now. You can see my little arrow there on the EFB. So it's like a 20-ish knot, but it's kind of coming from that direction. So it's a quartering, or front quartering, front 8 thing. The weather models lied to you. Also, it's like, how accurate is this going to be compared to what it is? I mean, it does good. You know, it doesn't do bad. Ground speed 107. Don't know how. It's just a super efficient helicopter. Coming up to our turn, though. Can we see the island out there? Nope. But I do like being above the clouds here. Even though we're going slower than what we were, I don't mind it for the view. It's not dark and gloomy under the clouds. This helicopter's not like... I've got the airspeed set at 150 right now. Let me bring it down and see if it can chase it easier while it's at a 115 here. Maybe it's just the altitude it doesn't like playing with. I don't know. Sean, I didn't know you were still in here, but good night. Happy birthday to your sister's brother. Put a baby in her. And see you next time. Secret said something in there I completely looked over. You should be able to do it. A lot of people like multi-crew on MSFS. Surely there is a mod or add-on for it. It was a core feature in FSX. Okay. Interesting. Multi-crew. Which I know they had some for 2020 because I watched a few of my streamers that I watched play together. But I'm pretty sure that was pre-2024. So I don't know how much that's changed since then. Working up for our final turn, but the cool thing is, happy birthday to your sister's brother. Happy birthday to your wife's boyfriend. Oh. Yeah, I think it'd be a cool thing to do. Like I said, I've played, kind of like how Ace will hop in here some days, I've played multiplayer with some people before doing it in Microsoft 2020. Just because they got it on Xbox for like $10 or whatever, just because it's a it's cheaper now since 2024 is out. they've gotten 2020 on Xbox. And they get like the HOTAS set up where it's a joystick that sits right here in front of you like that. And it's got like a throttle quadrant here, kind of like an airplane, like one of these where you could do that whole deal with it. And they set that as their collective. And they just have a button to do like, or like page up, page down, or whatever for their 8,700 feet. You better chill, bud. Okay, you're descending. Good. How about you? 7,300. Busy airspace. Found one that looks pretty legit and good quality. Is it multi-crew or is it something else? Yeah, let me know the name. I'll screenshot it and take a look and see if it's something that's worth trying to pursue. Because I've always thought, even if you could do it where it's both on the same computer, like I've always wanted to get a second headset, so that way I could fly around and put my dad in the passenger seat or something. If I could do a dual control setup, that would be cool, because I'd like to kind of get him helicoptering. He's fixed wing, but I'd like to see him figure out hovering and stuff like that. Multi-crew experience. Screenshotting. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Knock ourselves like 10 to 12 degrees to the right. Start doing a slower turn. Looks like we might get our airspeed back a little bit. Like I said, it's weird. I just don't think it likes altitude for airspeed. Time to descend. Where are we going? Waiting for my altitude, co-pilot. Got 55 plugged in right now. And we're still at 95. I haven't set the 55 yet, but I'm 100 feet. Am I crossing any more islands up here? Kind of. We'll go down. We'll go down low though. Do like 2,000 feet at first, just to get us low without smacking us into anything while we get through everything. You want the speed back, don't you? Knew it. I might even put that on height hold over, going that low. No weather in front, that's nice, just clouds. Ground speed 120, picking up. Should be 20 knot light crosswind when we get down. Copy that. That's what it's kind of looking now. Looks like 20 off at a like 10 o'clock position. Of course, we'll be turning more to the right, so that we'll probably move to like a 9 o'clock-ish position. Looks like our heading will be like 283-ish. 27, 28, 29. Well, we're about the right heading there. Okay. Happy with that. Dude, I watched a couple of videos of some offshore pilots where they're taking off in like absolute fucking minimums. Like 500-foot ceilings at the airport, you know, and like just dipping into the clouds, and they don't come out of the clouds until they're like 2 or 3 miles from the what's it called? From the oil rig itself. And it was just nerve-wracking watching, you know, because I mean they're flying into something that looks like this. Absolute shit soup. But I mean, there's I would do it, you know. My whole attraction to flying helicopters is because it looks fucking tough. Well, not tough. It looks like it's a mental challenge when you're doing the correct job or doing the right job. Of course, doing tours and whatever, I'm not going to say it's not challenging, but you really don't think of somebody doing bread runs back and forth over the same place as challenging. I want to get home and just like collapse and be like, man, today was long. To show up and be so locked in the entire time that you're flying that it's like pure mental exhaustion. That's what I'm looking for. Edelfish, what's up? Edelfish. Hey, little breakthrough there, not bad. It's only been taking me down at 500 feet a minute though, but that's cool. We're chilling. We are chilling. Ooh, a little bit more than 20 knots coming from the left now. Not bad. Ground speed 125. We're working it, slowly but surely. Maybe we'll make it through the clouds before we leave the island. It'd be neat to see it. You got to go in 95 minutes. Exactly. Well, who knows? Once we get a little bit lower here and we get some airspeed back, we should be able to re-pick back up our IAS. Hey there, ocean. There's a little island through the cloud there. What a good looking fucking helicopter. Did I just hear a noise? It sounded like a call out or something. That's my message. Set course to 06 and shut the fuck up. We're way down here, homie. Making our way downtown flying fast, pace is fast, and we're homebound. Do-do-do-do. I mean, technically, I'm just flying home. I'm just taking the longest possible way to get there. Because the end goal is to make it back to Georgia. But that's 2 months away, minimum. If we really grind out some times, where instead of doing like the airport to airport, like 1 day type things, like you have set up in Australia, like if I do 2 jumps a day, and do like 4.5 hour streams, that could pick up a lot of time. I also don't know of many landmarks as we get over, as we're going over like I don't want to say Middle East, but the Middle East-ish area. I don't have too many places that I want to stop and look at. There are a few. But for the most part, I feel like we're going to get from Thailand to Europe pretty quick. Like, I don't think it's going to be as long as what this Russia to Japan run has been so far. I think we'll be able to do it with a decent time. Ground speed 131. There's the water. Current altitude 5,600 and descending. Got 10 miles coming off the left, or 10 miles an hour coming off the left. Do a helicopter trivia to burn time. As in me asking questions and y'all trying to answer them. Oop, we're gonna get below just in time to see the island. Very nice. Or as in y'all asking me questions, or me just giving facts. Because there's nothing I can do to keep you guys from looking up the answers on Google. So I can't enforce playing by the rules. Wish I knew how to advance. So we're still up here. Both. What year did the first Bell 206 come out? Or the first one being sold to usage outside of testing and whatever, like the first Bell 206 to be allowed in either public or military hands. And this is one that I actually know, but I just checked to make sure. Because I happened to see one in the wild one day, which was the first year. Prototyping, or the first prototype flew in 1966. First delivery to a customer was in 1967. So in 1967, Bell 206. And they are still flying today in some of them, which is terrifying. But then again, you know, there's so many airplanes flying too that are old. Old. I've done so many fuel system component overhauls on planes that are... Ooh, we have a little tailwind here. Look at that, 25 coming up from the back right. You're at 4,000 feet. Ground speed 144. Actually, I'm I'm happy with this. Whoop, there you go. Level it off. We're going to take advantage of this 30 mile an hour, 30 knot from the back right. Airspeed 120, ground speed 142. I like that. Gonna work on giving us our airspeed back. Yeah. Hmm. 1960. Bell. Do we trust Wikipedia? That's the question. Ground speed 136. Why don't you speed the fuck up? Have you tried that? Give me speed, bud. What, one? The 150 goal right there. I know you can do it. You're a fast helicopter. $240 nautical miles left. Okay, what's your... I know earlier on one of the other streams you were saying that you'd rather take an R66 over a 206. What's the reasoning behind that? I feel like I asked you, I just don't remember. You're down to 3,500. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I didn't specify which model. How many 206s are out before the 206 Alpha? I'm curious how many of the just bone-ass stock 206 before any sort of revision were made. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. I knocked my stick with my knee. Shoo! I'll shit my pants there, guys. We're good. R66, better rotor system, better cockpit. It is a lot smoother of a machine. I can see that. What about versus like a 206L? Like going out, let's say like a new model, like a 206L4. Which I know that's kind of like an unfair, because really like a 206B3 would be more what you'd be looking at because of like size capacity wise or whatever. 206L is kind of a much larger, more limousined helicopter, so it's not exactly a fair comparison. Why is it having such a hard time getting the speed back? Will you lose speed? Yeah, you'll lose speed. Will you take speed back? Yeah, I don't know. Drop down to 3,000 feet. Try to stay below this cloud. Interesting. Okay, now let's bump it new. Bell 505 versus a new R66. Let's just assume both brand new with like all the bells and whistles. It's a weird bluish haze. Is that just a reflection of clouds up here? Maybe. It might be just a reflection here, looking at the cloud level here. It might be blue skies past this. There's some rain up ahead. Oh, there's an island to the left of there somewhere. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Well, let's just say the NGX, because then they just put out the NGX at Verticon this year. Or was that just like a special edition one they put out with like the newer glass, the special paint job, all that shit? "35 knots directly to my right side. What's up?" Let's tweak my heading a little bit. Compensate for that. Do you think about... Oh, there's a little island. Hey, bud. It stands for next gen. NXG. Yeah, I know I saw a lot of good stuff on the 505, but I really also haven't seen, like, I don't say full reviews or anything about it, comparison-wise. But I know there's a lot of places that are adopting the 505. I wonder what their reasoning is, because I'm sure any savvy consumer would be looking at 505 and the R66 and a new 206, and if they're only looking at two bladed systems, or I'd say new 206, like a 206L. Yeah, 505. It seems neat, but it's still... I've yet to see one in person, so I can't make the looks judgment call yet. But it looks just slightly off to me, but that's also like a personal thing. You know, like, everybody has their own opinion on how stuff should look, or... or what looks good, what looks pretty, or whatever, but it I'm sure it's really, really good for doing what it's doing. You know, it's got a lot of front visibility, kind of like the 130s, 120s and stuff. I hate that the 120s were underpowered. I heard a lot of stuff, but then again, it's like, okay, cool, it's not a big, wide, thick sort of thing. But I've always liked the idea of the 120, because it's not I don't want to say not overkill, but it's not as overkill as a 130 for somebody using it as a commuter. Watched the Mendota Ranch. Got to fly the 505 and did a review. Oh, okay. I feel like I may have seen it. I want to say Pilot Yellow did one in the 505. That might have been the one I watched. I might have watched the Pilot Yellow one because they were asking that versus the 66 question. Ooh, we're matching up speeds now. Can I throw more at you? Will you take it? I think K-Maxes are cool. They'll vibrate the shit out of you. But correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. I don't know what your experience or knowledge is about K-Maxes. But from what, if I understand correctly, their rotor is completely solidly mounted. Like it doesn't... Typically when a rotor goes around the plane of rotation... Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Crap, what? Nope. Nope. Definitely did not click all that. Somehow my mouse button stayed clicked down. Okay, we'll correct that. Yeah, so apparently on the K-Maxes, the rotor system, instead of different, or instead of it articulating in a way where it goes around and then it tilts up more here and tilts more down, so that way you can get the tilting of the helicopter itself. Apparently their blades are completely fixed, and if you look at like a picture of it, let's say that this is the rotor blade here, you'll see a tab sticking off here, which is typically a trim tab or a tracking adjustment, whatever, on the rotor itself for like a whatever helicopter, 66, 44, whatever other normal type of helicopter there is. But apparently on the K-Maxes, that actual tab itself is articulated by your controls. So when you use your controls, that tab itself moves, and then that will actually bend the rotor blade to where it needs to be. Fueled a lot of them at the airport, yep. Yeah, so that's a wild thing for me to fucking, I don't want to say comprehend, because I understand how it works. But I just want to know who built it first, and they were like, you know what, fuck it. We don't need to be able to move the rotors. Planes do fine with just these little tabs. Let's just do that. So that's a very interesting thing for me to think about. But I mean, you know, it works. Maybe it was done out of necessity because of how the blades intermesh, where they couldn't have a lead lag setup that would work the right way, so. Yep, the blades themselves flex. The flaps themselves put enough in there to make the blade twist and flex how it needs to, and that's how it does its thing. Fucking wild person, whoever was like, you know what, let's try it, you know? What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, I'm curious how they figured that out. I'm curious what the necessity of it was. Was it that much better than doing an articulated blade, or was it out of, like I said, where a lead lag set up with it would cause too much of an issue with the intermesh of the two blades spinning next to each other? Like, I wonder what the necessity of it was. But apparently there's only a few helicopters left that they can train you for those in. Because there was one that was used way back, Google it real quick. Other helicopters with the same blade system, like a K-Max. H-43 Husky, that's what I was thinking of. So apparently the Husky is what they train a lot of the people in. And there's only a few operational Huskies left. And then that's when I figured that they would hit each other. Because for those who aren't aware, when the blade does its normal articulation, whether it's, let's just say it's, or we're looking at this blade here, so let's say it's going this way, and as the blade goes up here, it'll actually raise up some. And when you look at how the blade raises, if you look at the center of gravity, the helicopter is just like a ballerina moving their hands in, and they start spinning faster versus their hands out. The center of gravity, or the center of rotation, or whatever point, I forget the center of gravity, or whatever, with it, the blade goes up, it moves in a little bit, so which means it needs to spin faster. So if it was completely fixed, it wouldn't be able to move at the correct pace going around. So there's a hinge near the base of the blade that allows the blade to actually rotate forward and lag back. It's called a lead lag set. Is it center of gravity? What? Center of rotation, or the center of gravity forward. What the fuck is the term? I don't think it's center of gravity. Center of gravity is everything. Anyways, just like a ballerina with their hands straight out as they're spinning around, they can spin slower, but then they can bring their hands in and spin faster. That little bit of a movement of the blade when it tilts up and down changes where that center of mass is and brings it in. So the blade needs to spin faster, so it allows the base hinge allows the blade to go forward or backward. Of course, like Robinson's, the way that they're set up, how they kind of have like the top hat look. When they tilt, it actually doesn't change that center of mass, even though it does move up and down. They've moved the center of rotation so it's not at the top of the mast. It's slightly lower because of the top hat design, the underslung design, to where you don't need a lead lag set up in that. Yeah, there's different sorts of rotor head design. That accounts for a lot of different design parameters. Oh, we're getting, I won't say close, but we're getting closer. About 50 miles from hitting shore. I think this is wrong. I think it still wants us to go another direction. Yeah, we're a lot fucking closer than what it is. Or our last turn here, what it'd be, 165 nautical miles, 160 knots an hour. Yeah, we're good. We should make land well before you leave, Tom. Little line of storms up here, not that big of a deal. But yeah, K-Max is super fucking cool. I like them. Shit. I hit my fucking thing again. I know I'm over torquing, shut up. I want to go stretch my fucking knee and I hit my cyclic. Ugh, that's annoying. Can't get too comfortable here. $70 minutes for you. I think we're good. We get our speed back. I need to 3D print something to lock in my cyclic. Of course, the pedals don't move. The collective's got a friction on it to where it'll hit where it needs to be. But the cyclic, it's just a wiggler. So I need to 3D print or make something that holds it in place. That'll make that a lot nicer. Come on, take the speed. You know you want it. Can't believe I thought I could stretch my leg in my own house. Ugh. Scoff. Absolutely ridiculous that I could ever even think of that. Sorry for the over-torque, baby. It happens. It's just part of it. Sorry, kitten. You know how Dad gets. You know how Daddy gets. That's wild that it doesn't want to take the speed. Ground speed 105. I wonder if I could do a ground speed hold and change. I don't know, because I want the heading. I want the heading to stay there. Slowly leaning my cyclic forward, hoping that it will change all of that for us. We'll see. I'm trying to play its own game. Ace Driver, what up? We're getting close to Taiwan. I'm sorry, I have not checked my server today. Next question. Shit. What's a good next question for all this? Next question makes sense of the Augusta Westland and the Leonardo name and number system for their helicopters. And tell me why the 139 and 169 are not exactly that much bigger than each other. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can check the server real quick. See if it'll mess us up. But we're nowhere near an airport right now, so you'd be best trying to spot on me. Automatic East USA, 57 millisecond ping. Cool, that stayed good on us. Which means I should be able to do this. YouTube Studio. Content. Nine people watching. Welcome everybody. It's your first time here. Welcome to episode 26. We are currently moving towards Taiwan. Of course, I lost my thing here. We're pretty damn close to Taiwan here. We took off from Okinawa earlier. Been flying through some weather over a lot of water, so we're doing autopilot for this, and I'm making long over water flights, especially through weather, making that autopilot acceptable. Everything else, though, we are wiggling the sticks around the world. But right now we're kind of working up on our final leg here. Looks like we should be landing in 35, 40 minutes-ish, somewhere, give or take. Okay, let's try pushing the stick forward a little bit more. Trying to coax a little bit of extra out of this autopilot here. For some reason it doesn't want to give us the airspeed. Ground speed 134 knots. Okay, let's see. What sort of helicopter was used in Jurassic Park for like the, I don't want to say the opening scene, but like the initial driving through the, or flying through the valley? What sort of helicopter was that? And I want to say this one has actually been crashed since then. I think it's totaled out. Oh, you just said you'll do the next trivia question. Okay. If you're not already trying to answer that. But this one actually crashed in 2001 in Port Allen Airport, Hawaii, during a FAR Part 135 proficiency check ride. In the helicopter, the check airman, who was an FAA inspector, gave the commercial pilot a stuck pedal situation after takeoff by blocking the left pedal slightly forward of neutral position. Both pilots indicated the commercial pilot was unfamiliar with the maneuver. The check airman talked the pilot through the process during the flight around the traffic pattern. The check airman told the pilot to bring the helicopter to hover at a pre-selected spot, which the pilot did. The check airman then instructed the pilot to reduce power to effect a slight heading change. Instead of the helicopter on the ground, the pilot reducing the power to idle rapidly, and the helicopter yawned to the left. The pilot attempted an auto-rotational landing and flared too high, resulting in a hard landing. During the hard landing, the right main landing gear fell, and the helicopter rolled on its right side. The check airman and the pilot both reported the check airman did not brief the pilot of the maneuver prior to the flight, nor did he demonstrate the maneuver to the pilot. According to the helicopter manufacturer, stuck pedal emergency procedures are not provided in the emergency procedures section of the operating handbook, and maneuvers should be discussed first and demonstrated with neutral pedal settings. Probable cause: the pilot misjudged flare during auto rotation, resulted in a hard landing. A contributing factor was the check airman's failure to demonstrate stuck pedal maneuver to the prior to assigning procedure to the pilot. The helicopter was used in Universal Studios in 1993 in the blockbuster hit Jurassic Park. .109, correct. Nearest airport would be, basically look at the northern bit of the island of Taiwan. We're going to Romeo Charlie Sierra Sierra. Although Romeo Charlie 5 Charlie Oscar may be slightly closer. Like I said, if you look at the north end of Taiwan, we are maybe about 35 to 40 miles offshore. Yeah, about 35 miles offshore to the east of the island, inbound. Jurassic Park oil, obviously. What brand of oil is used in an R66 engine? It's a jet oil. I'm pretty sure it's a Rolls-Royce engine, right? I would assume like Mobil or something. Like Mobil One Jets version or whatever Mobil Oil company. As far as what weight or viscosity. Oh, we're definitely seeing the island over there. Look at that. That's green as shit. Viscosity, I don't know, but like Mobil. I'm trying to think what other get my mouse off that so it doesn't do anything silly. I'm trying to think of what other oils that we use. We used a lot of like weird off-brand oils. Or like very weird hyper-specific oils at the repair station. I want to say most of the ones that I saw where we had to like pre-lubricate different stuff was like Crisco vegetable oil. The good stuff. Canola. Searchlight. Finstrom safety light. Really, I want that bad boy on. I shouldn't be turning lights on and off. It would just be my luck that it crashes the fucking game or something, me turning on something that I haven't touched the entire time. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what different oils we used at AAI. It's like, yeah, I know we used a handful of different ones. But, for the life of me, I couldn't fucking tell you what they were. Now what I'm going to do is I don't know what our altitudes here are, and it looks like there's rain there. I'm going to start defaulting us to the right a little bit to go around the northern side of the island. Mobile jet. Is there like a specific weight? I say weight because that's what it is on automotive speak. I'm curious if there's any weight or anything that needs to be used for it. Yeah, we had a thing that we paid like $140 for a single quart of oil. It was the type of oil that we would bake in to bronze oil bushings. Because whenever we cleaned it, we'd put like a degreasing oiling agent or whatever on it, and it would make it where they don't do bronzish, or the bronze oil or whatever. It would take the oil that's been set into porosity. It would take that out. So what we would have to do would once we clean it and blast the kitty litter or whatever, the stuff around it, to make sure it was clean. Is there not a... there was no, what's the word I'm looking for? There was no more oil inside the bronze. Or there was. It's 5 CS, okay. So we had this expensive quart of oil. And these little bitty bronze bushings and stuff that we'd have to rebake. Which they're set into like plastic pieces on like these like magnetos and stuff. So we take the distributor cap off where the bushing's in there, where it holds the rotor cap on the inside. And after cleaning all that, we have this oil, and we'd have to make sure the bottom's completely clean, wipe down with alcohol or whatever, and put a special tape on the bottom that would stick even with oil to hold that oil in there. That would take like a slightly curved pick or whatever, dip it into the bottle of oil, and slowly start putting like drop by drop into this oil bearing bushing hole that we've made, because we've covered up one side of it with the tape, and then put it back in the in an oven, and we have to bake it at like 150 degrees or whatever for like 45 minutes. And that bronze bearing bushing would just suck the oil back up into it and make it where it was slick enough or lubricated enough so that way we could reassemble it back into the mountains over there and reassemble it back into everything. Weather. Let's turn it on. Let's just see. Yeah, so I'm going to come around this top side here and come down in the valley. Come down the valley. Nice. Yeah, but we're just cruising. Fucking picking up speed finally. 131 knots ground speed. We're showing like 131 air. Give me more. Though I'm not a fan of the rain in front of us, we'll deal with it though. We'll get along. We'll be fine. We will be okay. My time should be live, and I'm not going to touch my cyclic right now. But my time should be set to live. I've been flying live this entire time. See if I can touch my button without disrupting everything. There we go. Yeah, I'm set on live time. Back on live. I don't know. Okay, it doesn't have me on live players for some reason. But I'm real-time live weather. For some reason my live players are turned off. I couldn't tell you, but I know Ace is here with us. But I do set everything to live whenever we leave, whenever we set off in the beginning of these. So, nope, weather's clearing up a wee bit, so I won't have to cut it as far. You might be able to take it across this little bit of the mountain here. Okay, I see you with me on the... Yeah, there you go. You're back there. Ace is inside, everybody. I think this is the third day that he's jumped in with us. Hey, you're showing up now. Weird. Which way is this weather moving? Maybe I can go straight over. I don't know the elevation of those mountains, though, so we're just going to keep right. What brand spark plugs I'm going to go their NGKs just because I like NGK plugs, and there's going to be 12. Wait, it's a 4-cylinder, so 8. 8 spark plugs. Altitude coming down to 2,000 feet. Up, 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 up. What's happening? What's happening? Why did I lose everything? Weird. Champion 8. Okay, cool. I can see champions. It's a very American-made plug. I wonder how specific they are with that, because I know NGK makes a lot of shit. And I used to have people fucking... but I know, like, airplanes, aeronautic stuff, they're all very, very particular with what gets used, and you can only use specific parts that are certified and whatever. But I know with what just happened? Oh, we went into altitude mode since we weren't chasing anymore. We were not acquiring the altitude. Which actually... I'm going to take over now, so I can turn off airspeed, turn off heading, turn off altitude now. So we are now autopilot free. But yeah, so it's funny. I worked at Summit Racing Equipment for a while. I was a parts guy there, and did a lot of a lot of researching, a lot of cross-referencing numbers and stuff like that. And NGK, automotive-wise, kind of has the best system for learning, or for being able to figure out what sort of maps. They have the best system for cross-referencing different numbers, cross-referencing really anything, and for figuring out what sort of clouds are dark. Yeah, best numbers for cross-referencing, like, okay, cool, I need a plug that's this, and this, and you could basically build a part number if you knew how their system worked, and then you could get the part number that you needed. So a lot of times somebody like, oh, we need a spark plug for this cylinder head. I was like, okay, cool, that cylinder head has an 8 or like a 750 reach. It's got a shouldered or a tapered or whatever sort of seal, so then you can get one with that crushed ring, O-ring on it, or like the 45-degree taper. It's like, okay, cool, you're running nitrous, so you need this sort of heat range, or you're a turbo, you're running more compression. Like, you could do all that, and you could tweak the numbers in the NGK part numbers and accurately put together the spark plug that you needed for your application. Put this over in your lap, sweetie. Thank you. But then after I worked at Summit, I ended up getting a job at a place as a parts manager there. And one of the technicians, older black guy, I want to say his name was Willie or something. Anyways, he was doing an oil change on like a 2010 Chevrolet Malibu. Like, basic, absolutely nothing special sedan. He's like, hey, we're going to be doing or he upsold like the tune 'em up of plugs, wires, filters, whatever. And I ordered them spark plugs, and I ordered NGKs because there was like 30 different AC Delco numbers, which is the GM factory standard number, or the factory standard part from GM is the AC Delcos, or it might have been a Ford or something where it's Motorcraft, whatever it was. And I ordered them in GKs because I looked at all those numbers, and there, like I said, there's a million different ones from platinum to iridium to whatever to whatever to whatever. I said, okay, cool. It's a 750 shouldered. Needs to be the sort of heat range, blah 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 blah. Instead of trying to guess platinum, whatever. I just got the mid-range set of NGKs that I could throw together the part numbers for, because guess what? I knew the part numbers. And after I'd ordered all the parts and got them in, he was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with these things here? This thing runs AC Delco plugs. And I about fucking beat the hell out of this dude, because he was getting all up in my shit about it. I was like, hey man, I want to let you know that a spark plug is a spark plug. It's a piece of metal. It's ceramic. It has a positive and a negative. It's got a bit of resistance. If everything matches everything else, then it's the same thing as everything else. You know, it doesn't have to be the engine doesn't know the difference between an AC Delco and an NGK and a Motorcraft and a Champion. It's like, if this all works and if everything is exactly the same, like resistance wise, because some are like a higher resistance conductors and everything, so it's you have to know what you're doing. I was like, at the end of the day, it's going to spark and it's going to work. He's like, I ain't ever put one together that's running good on one of these. And like, I told my boss, I was like, hey, like, I know this part's going to work. He's like, dude, just fucking get him an AC Delcos. We'll put those in inventory and we'll use them on something else, on a fucking Honda or whatever. So I'm curious if there's any allowable crossover. Also, everybody, welcome to Taiwan. We are no longer in Japan. So yeah, I'm curious if there's like an allowable STC or something where you can use this different replacement part for those Champion plugs. Not that I think it matters, or when you're looking at dollar for dollar or whatever, it's like, okay, cool, you're buying a $20 spark plug here or there, regardless. But I'm curious if there's an allowable substitute. Little river coming down. We're following the valley up. Looks like we're going to jump the little mountain pass up here. Nothing too crazy, it looks like. But if anything, we'll hit this little pass up here and hang right, and then follow that back down through here, because I know this is all low here. Yeah, very specific plug for the engine. But like I said, I mean, it's... At the end of the day, you know, a thread pitch and a thread size, you can get other ones to thread in. I don't think that they would make something that's a crazy designed resistance in it. I don't think they'd do something super, super crazy or wild, although I don't know. So like, I don't want to be like, oh well, it has to, but like, I guarantee there is an NGK or a Delco or whatever other brand spark plug. I can almost guarantee you can put one that would work in there, but they're probably not approved. Where it's like, okay, cool, if you're a narco running narco shit and you happen to lose a cylinder because the plug's bad or whatever, like, there's probably something that can cross into it. What that is, though, couldn't tell you. But I'm sure something else will work in it. But as far as an approved part, who the fuck knows what sort of testing that the FAA or whatever the Australian Aeronautical Agency or whatever Robinson tests with, who knows what the requirements were to test it, to approve it, you know. To where they're probably not going to spend the money to test and approve another brand because it's not worth it. They're like, okay, cool, just buy the fucking Champions. Ooh, getting a little laggy for me here. Get the altitude back and we'll be happy with that. Gonna come down over this hill line here to where it starts leveling out. We're gonna fly close to the ground and fly IFR, I follow roads, into this place. Good rain coming up. Perfect, that's what I love. Whoa, 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 what are you fucking doing here, bud? Jesus. Don't give me any of this corrective trim shit. Didn't ask for it, don't care for it. Okay, Ace, I hope you like flying through weather. Let's read Tom's things before we get in here. Special tip for leaded fuel because the plug wires. Gotcha, yeah, and the leaded fuel thing, that's a thing too, because if you don't have the right stuff, you can get lead crystal accumulation, which is no bueno. I wish this thing had synthetic vision. Oh, wait a second. Hey! Let's go. We are so back, baby. Oh, I love it when the weather updates and it gets darker. Oh, 100 low lead tastes great. It's the forbidden Powerade. They just tell you not to drink it because they want more for themselves. I'm gonna make a custom Gatorade bottle lid that has the tester needle in it. Taipei City Airport. This is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey, along with our buddy 420 Alpha Delta for Ace Driver. We are about 5 miles to your northeast, inbound in the valley, following the roads. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Taipei City Tower. A lot of fucking bridges around here. It's tempting. There's no, like, good outs. Not gonna give me the place to click, thank you. Wow, okay. Exactly, Powerade Blue Buddies. Ace, we are close. I can see these other fucking tail numbers up here. Starting to get the rain coming in. It's AT-72, nice. CAL, I assume it's China Airlines. Taipei City Tower, Silicon 420 Foxtrot Whiskey and 420 Alpha Delta. We are about 1.5 miles from the field, inbound for the ramp. We'll be staying clear of the active Taipei City Tower. Gonna hang in slightly left here, Ace, because we want to stay clear of the active. You can see the pappy lights down there. Reducing speed. We'll be dropping gear here in just a second. Gear going down. Parking brake is off. Unsure where the refueling is. It's like a lot of little helipad type things around here. Oh, I see refueling right here in front of me. Sick, that's where we're going. Gear is down, confirmed. Parking brake is off, confirmed. There's Ace. And we are down on the ground, boys. Cool little rolling up taxi. I got wheels, might as well use them. Parking brake on. Let's go ahead and run her down. She's cooled off plenty enough. Don't worry about it. And one dead, and one's dead. Sick. Okay, Maria, hold it still for me. Okay, everybody, Okinawa to Taiwan. Autopiloting a little bit, but the weather today's been like this, a lot of water, so I consider it okay. I'm actually going to call it a night for now. He's in the 145 Airbus, but for some reason, since it's not a factory model, it doesn't show for all of us. Even though I have the 145, for some reason it just doesn't show. But I'm actually going to call it a night for the night. I got to wake up tomorrow and go help fix a boat. Not the one that I recovered from the lake, but another one. Yeah, easy enough stream tonight. Do the water crossing. We'll be doing some less land, but I feel like we got some more water coming up anyways. South of Taiwan, so we might be back in the 160 day after tomorrow, or not the next stream, but the stream after. We might do the 145 actually, because I'll be able to set that on AP as well. But tomorrow potentially, it depends on how involved fixing the boat is. We gotta take out the water, clean it, we gotta rewire it, because some fucking muskrats ate the wires and stuff out of it. So it all depends. We'll see. But if y'all have notifications turned on, then you should see when I pop up stream. But if so, it'll be the same 8, 9, 10 o'clock Eastern time for the bills. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for being here. Good stream tonight, and we'll do it again soon, everybody. In flight, lock us in. But oh yeah, it'll definitely be more involved than I think. But I mean, it ran last year. We've already replaced the harness in it once 2 years ago when the same fucking muskrat ate it. So it's just a matter of doing it again. But yeah, all of y'all have a good night.